That's
Dude, who wrote that?
Let me move.
ChatGPT? That is the most inhuman sentences I've ever seen. Seems like Matt Rife might be on camera.
Sorry for all the
There are
things.
a lot of people very upset. The misogyny, domestic violence bit is not the only knife that was plunged into the back of his female predominant audience, at least on TikTok. He also has choice words for astrology immediately following that joke. He has a particular distaste for crystal ladies, comparing them to Thanos, and he says he doesn't want to play a game of Mancala to get laid. Interesting.
Ladies, put the fucking pebbles down, okay? We are sick and tired of walking into your bedroom and it looking like we gotta beat you at a game of Mancala before we can sleep with you. What the fuck is all this gravel doing inside, Thanos?
For a guy who's built an audience predominantly of women, he just seems to not like them very much. It is funny. It's an interesting thing that's happening right now with him. And also, is he even handsome? I keep joking about that, but I feel like he's really just like a normal looking dude. He just has a really chiseled jawline. All that being said, the live audience once again is eating it up. They love this shit. They don't give a fuck. It's the internet's reaction later to what he said, and you know, here we go. He isn't funny at all, this guy. Looks like my Aunt Suzanne. Which Hollywood agent did he sleep with to get here? The Aunt Suzanne thing, that's funny. If the special was actually funny, I don't think people would actually mind, but it really did suck. You know, most Netflix specials suck, aside from Shane Gillis' most recent one. I'm a rightist and offended by that. What the f does that mean? What if I say Matt Rife looks like he gets beat up by women? I don't even know what that means. After all this, Matt decided to apologize to the people that he upset. And instead of going on a traditional sort of apology tour like even the great Norm Macdonald has done, where he, you know, earnestly sat down in front of a live audience and said he was sorry and that he should know better, etc.
But I will say, the remark I made about people with Down syndrome was just a terrible thing for me to say.
He posted on his story this: if you've ever been offended by a
Michael! Don't leave me here!
Hi. Hey, thank you for the follow and hello everyone. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hello. Welcome everyone. My name is Ree. I've been streaming. I have not been streaming just art for 12 hours. I've been streaming Lethal Company, then art, then Terraria, then art. I hope you had a lovely stream. Oh my god, I'm currently drinking. Currently drinking while making soapy art.
Do you think his response was baller? Do you think it was
oh no, surprised. Thank you. Very surprised. I appreciate it. I'm giving you a shout. I hope Stardew back. I saw you were playing Stardew earlier. I hope it was fun.
It's interesting, the man can dish a joke, but
oh yeah, I've also been pretty much adding second thing of stimulation. Because listening to the same songs for hours on end is actually more draining than this. It was in winter. Oh, big group fun. Oh, winter's so fun. Ooh. It sounds exciting. Man. Yeah, try to finally have an excuse to touch the American whiskey because I still have 2 full bottles, pretty much. It's gonna take me a while to get through one, let alone the one you guys gave me. I gotta head to bed. Yeah, work tomorrow. Oh, good. Thank you so much. You have a good sleep. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna continue drawing sus art now. Do not mind the YouTube video is guys who think have a good stream. Oh good, thank you Void Hunter for joining us. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh good, have a good evening both of you. Yeah.
TikToker that makes TikTok content makes a joke about creating
to continue
his
the sus
jawline in
art.
a fucking lab or a medical office, he gets a little bit upset. Me after creating the greatest jawline ever seen, just for my patient to get canceled right after. This guy's clearly implying that Matt Rife is the jawline that he created. And then Matt Rife responded and said, lying about medical history is illegal. Just FYI. He's a little bit insecure about that, it seems. This seems funny, though. I like that joke. It's not bad. The public, at the end of the day, is always going to be divided, and that does not change when it is what people think is funny. Everyone is going to feel different about what they think is funny. I personally have no problem with jokes, ever. I think everything should always be able to be joked about, no matter what. Genuinely, you know, I might have an emotional reaction, but at the end of the day, I think anything can be joked about, especially if it's not like a personal sense, if like your girlfriend's joking about something that you're very vulnerable about. That's up. But a comedian, their job is to joke. That's like the whole point of the job. You know, the jester can poke at the king. Comedy's very important. Humor's subjective. A lot of people claim to be able to take jokes. They can't. Some jokes are funnier than others. Fuck, it's obvious, dude. A lot of people rightfully upset over Matt's domestic violence joke because they had their own experiences to share, and that's not something I could ever understand. From my perspective, I've never experienced domestic violence, so I thought it was not necessarily funny, but also it's not anything that would ever make me upset. Really, after this, there's a lot more hate of Matt Rife that I've seen on TikTok, the platform that built him. And that's the reason that I wanted to make this video, because some of the hate is fucking hilarious. Check this out. I never found Matt Rife funny. I've been too busy thinking who looks like this. Old Matt Rife looks like the villain Sid in the first Toy Story movie. Now you can't unsee it, and that's fucking funny. Mic drop. Stay tuned for my crowd work. That's true. He does look like that. And also, that's a cringe tweet. People are fucking upset. People are fucking excited. There's a lot more. It seems like on X and Twitter, people like Matt Rife a lot more. A lot of my friends like Matt Rife, and some of my friends don't like Matt Rife. Okay? Some of my friends. I don't really care if you guys like him. Like, comment down below. Let's see what the most liked comment on this fucking video is, and let's see who the most based in red pilled is, and who has the most resonant opinion. Okay, the thing that confuses me the most is my audience is girls, but I make my content for boy. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but this is what he said. One thing that I wanted to tackle in this special was showing people that despite what you think about me online, I don't pander my career to women. I would argue this special is way more for guys. Who the cares at all? What the fuck? In another video, he said he knows most men come to his show because their girlfriends wanted to. I don't know what's wrong with having a female audience.
So they bring their boyfriends or husbands who are always reluctant because they fucking probably bought the tickets.
Right.
They didn't want to be there. And then like 20 minutes into the show, they realize like my comedy is so much more for guys than it is girls.
And just pull your out and swing it around and make a funny sound or something. That's funnier than having to divide your audience, I guess. I don't know. It's for the boys, dude. Do that with the boys anyways. They like that too.
To me, I've always gone for the tone of like, I just wanted to feel like a hangout with the boys.
Right.
Like you're gonna say some ridiculous shit from time to time, but I wanted to just feel like a hangout.
Bro, Matt, you gotta love your audience, dude. You get bitches, mad bitches. Don't throw that all away for a couple of dudes. For the boys? What do you mean?
It breaks my heart that so many guys just won't give me a chance because I'm like, dude, we could be best friends. Dude. You just never know.
Too handsome, too many girls, etc. It's easy to understand. This is a video that went incredibly viral over the last couple days. It's got 1.8 million likes, and this is just doubling down on the people hating on him. Check this out. It was posted by a person named Bunny Hidayah. I'm not exactly sure what her name is.
Matt Rife has decided to start beef with my 6-year-old child online. Yeah, you heard me correctly. My 6-year-old child online. Because everyone knows that my son is like a genius and he's really into space. I fiercely protect my child online.
I wouldn't post him online then. If you fiercely protect him, I wouldn't post him, to be honest. If I had a child, I wouldn't post him online. That's separate from this video, but I just don't think you should be posting your kids online. That's just my opinion. I don't know. So this lady talks about a interaction her son had with Matthew Rife in regard to his comedy. Her son likes space a lot. She really likes talking about her son liking space and Minecraft, and the fact that she doesn't put him online that much. People don't know his personal information, but she still puts him online and lets him make TikToks or something. I'm not really sure. And then she shows a TikTok of Matt Rife talking about space, in which her son responds to it and gives Matt Rife a smackdown.
Nothing to do with the stars, man. Just because Jupiter has a ring and you don't, doesn't mean.
It's Saturn has rings, and it has more also, and you're mean to girls.
Damn! And then he walks away, and it's the sound on TikTok. I'd roast you, but my mother says I'm not allowed to burn trash, and it's got the big bouncing ass or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? He just fucking burned him, dude. It's like a child, a little child making fun of Matthew Rife. Whatever could Matt say in response to this? It's important to mention the context that this is a small child.
I am not the type of content creator that usually talks about other people or other things for views. If you look to the video on here, you can see that all the comments were like, oh my god, he's so smart, he's so cute, like, oh my gosh, yeah! He's not tagged in it. I have no connection with him, and it was posted on a Netflix page. While you clearly took a lighthearted video and turned it into fighting with a 6-year-old, let's talk about the comments that you said about me. I have never made a single dollar from a man. Audience is female, 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 and a little bit of the gays and nays. You can't accept the fact that people may like women for their personalities.
So Matt commented back on this video of this little kid just correcting him and saying how he doesn't like girls. Matt Rife said, Jupiter also has ring. Oh, and Santa Claus isn't real. Your mom buys you presents with the money she makes on OnlyFans. Good luck. Dude, that shit is so fucked up. That is funny, to be honest. That's not something I would say, but that is an absurd response. That's a child that he's clowning on and just saying it. The emoji, it's just so confusing. I don't know how to feel. Was he actually offended by this? It seems like it may be, but at the same time, like, that's maybe a potentially funny response. Does Jupiter actually have a ring? I didn't think it did. This had the potential to just be like something funny all around, but it turned into some fucking random TikTok nonsense that makes this dude look like an asshole. I hope it's a misunderstanding. I hope he's not actually mad at a child, but oh well. That was a clip where I was like, oh man, this is really complicated. This guy really does not care if people like him or not. He just kind of says whatever he wants. If it's rude or untrue or whatever, and he talks about OnlyFans and stuff. I mean, come on, bro. What about my OnlyFans? I'm a guy, and I buy presents for my kids with my OnlyFans earnings, which are big. I have a lot of earnings from OnlyFans. And somehow after all this, he's become right-wing, and it's like involved political drama. I don't really understand the whole right-wing, left-wing thing. The joke turned into a political debate, and he went on to Jordan Peterson's podcast.
The joke's like a minute and 30 seconds, and people were like, all he did was bash women. And I purposely did it first in the show to go, hey, just so you know, this is the kind of humor I like to tell. And if it's not for you, you are so more than welcome to turn off the TV right now.
I don't know if this is an attempt for him to split the internet even further or really just kind of set in stone who he is. Maybe since he's set with the whole tour dates, he just wants to invoke as much infamy as possible. I really don't know. It's
time to take a
it's
sip.
probably going to work pretty well, but this is just totally unnecessary. It's a super long interview, and they cover a lot of different topics, but it boils down to the main following topics. Matt will never apologize for a joke. Ever.
Although apologizing is a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'll never apologize for a joke, ever. I just find the prioritization of human beings to be so
Matt says that if 12,000 people are offended, there's 100,000 people that loved it.
Well, you clearly offended 12,000 people. That was the number you came up with. Why are you so confident in your intent that your belief in your own goodness in relationship to comedy trumps the fact that like 12,000 people are telling you that you said something offensive?
Because if 12,000 people are sending that, I would say 100,000 people are saying they loved it and they've been through domestic violence situations and they found the joke very funny.
Matt says that it's insane when people complain online about things they don't like when there's a world of things outside that they do like. He says it's a waste of time, energy, and emotion.
If you're on this earth for such a limited amount of time, how insane is it to sit behind your phone and computer and complain about something you don't like when you have a world at your hands of all the things you do like? What an absolute waste of energy, time, and emotion.
Matt says the internet gives people false confidence to say things that they wouldn't normally because there's no repercussions.
But obviously the internet creates this is what I would believe to be false confidence. And believing that they're safe behind this imaginary source of social media, that they don't face any repercussions because their profile picture is an anime character. And everything's a private profile. There's no consequence to saying what they say.
There's no consequence for leveling an accusation.
Basically, people are anonymous and they can just say whatever they want. And honestly, I'm fine with all that. I think that all makes perfect sense, and I just don't really care. At the same time, you don't gotta be a dick about it, I guess, right? Like, what do you guys think? That's kind of what I want to know. I want to know what you guys think about all this shit. It's the Jester's privilege. Wait. Do you think I should start alienating my audience and start making jokes about things that I think are epic and cool, like how bad women are at OG Fortnite and how good I am at Lego Fortnite when compared to women specifically, and also 6-year-old boys who like space, but are also not able to think about space and are wrong about it? Dude, I don't fucking know.
And what's the next one? Ooh, new. Maybe, I don't know. Ooh, this is new. Interesting.
Very, very popular leader of thought in the modern era.
Welcome to the Huberman Lab podcast, where we discuss science and science-based tools for everyday life.
If you're the kind of person that spends their day watching kick streams, streaming television, or my channel, you probably haven't heard of Andrew Huberman.
I'm Andrew Huberman, and I'm a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. Today, my guest is Dr. Vivek Murthy.
Andrew Huberman has a very well-respected podcast called the Huberman Lab Podcast. It's a cool podcast. There's a lot of digestible, eloquent advice that's easy to get into. It's easy to listen to. It's entertaining. It's fun. I really like this guy's podcast. I started watching it back during the pandemic, and a lot of other people did as well. Tons of people found this man 2-3 years ago. I believe the first video I found was how to focus and change your brain, or the first video I was showed, rather. I didn't find it. I didn't look that up. It just, YouTube was like, you need to do this immediately or die. Some of his most key advice that are advice takeaways that I would apply to my life and actually recommend for anyone to do, simple things just like journaling daily to clear the clutter out of your head. It's nothing new. It's nothing
New.
Ridiculously awesome or cutting edge that he's saying out here, but it helps a lot.
What I'm describing is a very different form of journaling than, say, morning notes, which is a form of journaling that writers often use in order to, quote unquote, clear out the clutter. This is a process of sitting down and writing down in stream of consciousness whatever's on your mind for the first 5 to 15, maybe even 30 minutes every morning.
Or another example, the order in which you eat your food actually matters, depending on what it is. The makeup of food, it's different. You should eat certain things first, certain things last, certain things not at all. Yet another example, the simple fact that exercise helps combat depression and mental health disorders.
Exercise, it turns out, also has a positive effect on the tryptophan to serotonin conversion pathway. And the way it does it is really interesting. You now know that tryptophan can either be converted into serotonin or it can be converted into this neurotoxin, which is a bad thing.
Push-ups don't cure it, right? They don't cure it, but, they make it 1% better. And then that makes it easier to do other things that might make it 1%. That's the logic. It makes sense. And it works for me specifically very well. So what makes Andrew Huberman credible? As someone who is very credible in this space, we need to know what makes this guy tick. Well, he's a neuroscientist. He has also conducted research on brain functions, specifically the functions in and around neuroplasticity, something I lack heavily. Neuroplasticity, by the way, is the brain's ability to form new synaptic connections or reorganize existing ones to just basically make you adapt and evolve and become smarter and, more successful.
Neuroplasticity is activity-driven and follows the use it or lose it rule. Frequently used synapses are strengthened, while rarely used connections are weakened or eliminated.
This type of thing, immensely important for everybody, but especially important for stroke victims to recover from their strokes, or TBI victims to recover from their traumatic brain injuries. The Huberman Lab podcast is actually named after a department of neurobiology at Stanford, the Huberman Lab. Cool as fuck. Like, I wasn't just saying he's a neurobiologist, like he's legitimately in it. One really interesting study at the Huberman Lab utilized VR technology and put people in stressful or fear-provoking situations.
Post-traumatic stress comes after the trauma, when the trauma is no longer there. That's what makes it pathologic. So having stress and fear in response to something that's happening that's truly threat-inducing, that's good. We certainly are not interested in curing fear. We're interested in alleviating pathologic fear.
Putting someone who's claustrophobic in a tight space in VR, or someone who's afraid of heights on that fucking plank on the Oculus. You seen that shit? Man, I like watching people fall off that. It's funny.
He did?
And then we decided that we needed some scary experiences. So we employed a tree climber to climb very high up into a tree that was swaying in the wind.
What do you think?
I'm to test this.
Want to go a little higher?
We also have a stimulus in which we worked with a professional dog trainer to have a
I
dog
do not trust this
you
goddamn.
virtual environment.
Yeah.
And then perhaps one of the more unusual and exciting ones was diving with great white sharks.
And what did they learn? I don't really know, but it's cool that they did it anyways. So on the surface, you might think, well, this man's awesome. He's dedicating his life to giving people tools for self-improvement. He's making a podcast that's free to listen to, that just is full of actual actionable things you can do to make your life better from point A to point B. Like, it's everything you need is there to improve yourself. It's accessible. You don't have to go to school for it. You don't have to go to Stanford. Well, actually, guys, you'd be wrong in thinking that, because he's a piece of fucking shit. I'm just kidding. I don't really know if he is a piece of shit. There's a recent article and a bit of a meme recently. I don't know where I stand on this, by the way, but the New York Magazine goes to extreme length alleging that Andrew Huberman is not the saint that some people believe him to be. I don't know if there's that many people who actually think he's a saint. Most people think he's just a really smart guy who gives actionable advice. He's not really like a moral grandstander. At least I haven't witnessed him to be that in his own podcast. I haven't seen him anywhere else, or in any really specific interviews or anything like that. But I also don't butt chug him. I don't like care that much. I just like people who are articulate and eloquent and provide good information. The New York Magazine article was released on the 25th of March, a few days ago, and it's already had its title changed once. The title was originally Falling for Huberman, the private and public
What the fuck is that?
of the world's biggest pop neuroscientist. And it's him with his microphone and stuff. It's pretty
Nasty.
cool. It's by this fella named Kerry Howley or something. Now, it's Andrew Huberman's Mechanisms of Control, the public and private seductions of the world's biggest pop neuroscientist. Why did it change? I have no fucking idea. The article even made it to the New York Magazine's front page titled One Great Story. It's where their editors suggest different stories that you shouldn't miss. I don't know. It's a crypto billionaire, Barry Siebert. I don't fucking know, bro. It's just nonsensical. It's just journalism. The article, bit of a slog of a read, I'm gonna be honest. It's not for the faint of heart or anybody with any fucking form of attention deficit disorder. So it's not for me, fuckers. We'll give you the fucking spark notes and we'll see exactly whether or not we think this Huberman guy's a piece of shit or not, okay? Whether or not he needs to be, I don't know, what the fuck. God, his advice is worthless now. Fuck. The main allegations all stem around the idea that the things that Huberman has said or done off camera, outside of his work, do not exactly jive with the character that he puts on or the persona that he seems on character. It begins with a former relationship of Andrew's, a woman who is left anonymous in the article and only referred to by the name of Sarah. Well, that's not very anonymous. I can just look up Sarah and find a picture of her. Here she is. You're not even trying. The article details her history with the famous podcaster slash professor slash sex pimp. He originally messaged her in February of 2018, and that's where the lies began, apparently. He claimed he lived in Piedmont, California, a very wealthy city, when he actually lived in Piedmont Avenue, Oakland, California. Not wealthy, very poor. Sarah claims that in July, a few months later in 2018, she asked for clarification on how deep their relationship actually was, and that they agreed to be mutually exclusive with one another. They even had sex without a condom. All right? By Thanksgiving of 2018, things in Andrew's relationship would start to go wrong. For example, Sarah wanted to introduce Andrew to her parents and friends. He repeatedly texted her that he was going to be late. The time got further and further and further and further away. Eventually, he just fucking ghosted her on Thanksgiving, which is awesome. That's my understanding of the article, at least. I'm not too clear on it. Once again, trouble reading. Apparently, Andrew would just drag up old issues. He'd pull from his internal lexicon of shit to bitch about, and he'd have rage fits that lasted 2 to 3 days, apparently, in which he would yell at this woman going all the way to midnight and sometimes beginning as early as 2 a.m. So he would wake up at 2 a.m. and yell all day at her. He would fixate on the men she had been with. He would bring up her 2 children that she had with another man. It makes Andrew seem like a petty slash manipulative dork at best and a abusive person at worst. The argument that he is a manipulative person continues heavily. Apparently, Sarah alleges that she changed as a person during her time with Andrew. Sarah's friends remember her as being a powerful, decisive, and strong woman who grew up in a feminist community. So they thought it was odd that when she was with Andrew, she began to say things like, "I just want to be with my kids and cook for my man." Her friends said, "Who says that? I mean, I've known her for 30 years. She's a powerful, decisive, strong woman. We grew up in this very feminist community. That's not a thing either of us would ever say. Sarah also alleges that Andrew cheated on her starting August 2021, 3 years together when they were supposedly exclusive. She even found a reference to cheating in Andrew's journal. And from this point moving on, it seems like cheating is a bit of a theme. We fast forward to August 2022. They would go on a camping trip up in Washington State where Andrew would bring a cooler with some syringes to stick into her belly to stimulate fertility, because at the time they were trying to have a child with using IVF. During the trip, Sarah grabbed Andrew's phone while he was going to the bathroom, and he found conversations with a woman that the article refers to as Eve. Another pseudonym, not a real name. Turns out, my joke earlier, that was not the real Sarah. That was just a girl named Sarah. I'm sorry, Sarah. Apparently, Eve is an actress, and Andrew met Eve on Raya, the dating platform for rich and famous people. Eve and Sarah have differences in their personalities. Eve is calm and collected, and Sarah is chaotic. How are they able to compare the two? I have no fucking idea. Andrew was very kind and considerate to Eve in their texts compared to the toxicity that he showed Sarah. Andrew and Eve also apparently talked about the family that they could have together. Then, a bombshell. Eve became skeptical of Andrew after hearing on the JRE podcast that he had a girlfriend. What a terrible way to find that out. Holy shit. And when Eve saw Sarah, Huberman's girlfriend, looking at her Instagram stories without liking or commenting, she messaged her, and then they found out that they were both with Andrew. Oh my god, dude. If Eve is an actress, this is just a weird thing I noticed. Like, how are you seeing one person specifically looking at your story? Like, how does that make sense? How I can't see one person looking at my story, let alone my girlfriend's boyfriend? The fuck? Maybe it's not as weird as having two basically separate families that don't know about each other, and you're injecting one's belly with fertility drugs in the same time span you're talking about having a family with the other. That might be worse, but I'm not sure. This feels like a shit ton of hearsay, I'm gonna be honest. And that's what this channel thrives on, okay? So it's all alleged, it's all alleged. Back to the story. In 2021, Sarah would test positive for HPV, and a particular form of HPV that is linked to cervical cancer, though she claims before that she had been tested but was not positive, and had also been tested regularly for the last decade. When she brought it up to Andrew, he allegedly told her that HPV could be contracted for many things. This is another example of an alleged cheating from Andrew in saying that he's got HPV. Then the article goes on to state that in August 2023, which apparently is the month that everything interesting happens in, this was when Sarah moved out and ceased her cohabitation with Andrew, but remained in a committed relationship with him. And that was up until December of 2023, when they were about to go Christmas shopping. She went to Andrew's house and she saw him on the couch with another woman through the window. Now we have another woman, Alex, another fake name that doesn't exist. This person, Alex, began liking all of Sarah's Instagram posts conveniently. So
Oh wait,
Sarah
hi
messaged
Cynthia.
her and found
Yes,
out
I have
she
been up
was
this whole time.
sleeping
It's
with
only
Andrew
like
as well.
10:30 p.m.
Mary, who was involved with Andrew, and her friends called
But yeah,
Andrew breadcrumbs.
I've been up
because he
this entire
disappeared.
time.
If all these women are real, I tell you what, this TikTok comes across in a whole new fucking light. I tell you what.
Sorry, I didn't respond to your message soon. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, unless he's
Don't worry, once I'm done with this drawing, I'll end stream.
Right. And some men try to do that, but I think it could be very taxing.
That is really extremely funny. And he's like, well, yeah. He's like giving advice to himself right there. Well, unless, this is how you do it correctly. Well, how do you know
Hey,
that?
how you doing, buddy?
Experience. Allegedly or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if I care. Out of the woodwork comes the negativity now. His poor treatment of human beings wasn't exclusive to the women that he was supposedly seeing. Alleged poor treatment, by the way. This extended to his friends and colleagues, allegedly. Scott Carney, an investigative journalist and anthropologist, went on the record to share his experiences with Huberman. The video is basically him just following up on the release of the article, detailing how he knew Huberman before his popularity and sort of touting his contributions to the article itself.
This week, Carrie Howley, an essayist and investigative journalist for New York Magazine, wrote a cover story about how the famous neuroscientist and podcaster Andrew Huberman lies about his background, doesn't run an active lab at Stanford, abuses and
Monk Maries,
manipulates
I'm
women
trying to take
while
care of myself. I
simultaneously
am.
making millions of dollars
I
selling
am, don't
supplements on
worry.
his Science Forward podcast.
He says the internet is sort of broken into two camps. A, the camp that feels Andrew Huberman isn't who he seems on his podcast, therefore they feel misled and they believe he should be canceled. Or B, the people who feel like this is a coordinated hit piece on Andrew.
First, there are people who feel disturbed and betrayed by how his public persona does not match his private one. And the other camp are people who think that this was a coordinated hit piece by a journalist who's trying to gin up controversy against someone whose scientific communication has helped millions of people.
Now, I'm gonna say that I fall into this camp, the B camp, because everything is anonymous. There's not a single human being in this that I could actually point to. If there was, it'd be different. It would still probably be hearsay, but it's like really hearsay at this point. You know what I mean? This isn't Minecraft YouTubers. This isn't nonsensical drama. This is a guy who actually provides a valuable service to a lot of people. If
I
that
am
makes sense.
drinking.
Normally I stand
I am
biased. This
drinking
time, think I'm in B camp. Gonna be honest. Hopefully something terrible doesn't come out and make what I'm saying right now age like fine milk.
I don't think I'm
okay,
tipsy.
guys? But hey, even if that's true, a broken clock's still right twice a day, motherfucker. Early on, we see Gary show his bias against Huberman. He says he doesn't think Huberman enjoys anything more than he enjoys manipulating people.
Because if I were going to put on the hat of a psychologist instead of a journalist, I would say that in my experience, there's nothing that Huberman enjoys more than manipulating people.
Andrew genuinely is a villain in this guy's eyes, which is fair. I've never met Andrew Huberman. I have a parasocial relationship with his advice. I've never even heard him talk outside of just delivering chunks of advice. Not really that villainous to me, but I've never been manipulated by him. The first interaction that our old buddy Scott had with Huberman was back in 2018. This was back when he was working on his boot. He was intrigued at the Huberman Lab VR study that we mentioned earlier on about the fear responses.
Now, back in 2018, I was working on my book, The Wedge, and I was interested in his laboratory research on how he tested people's fear responses in a virtual reality lab. He had these, like, fake sharks that would swim by you, and to somebody who was afraid of sharks, they would have these autonomic arousal spikes, and I thought that was really cool, and I could write about it, about how you have some control over your fear responses.
Gary even says at this point they became tentative friends, and Huberman invited him out to his house. They went on a camping trip, which Scott, accepted to go on with Huberman. And he was just excited to have an interesting friend. Sorry, Gary. He bought tickets, packed his bags, rented a car, and he got to Andrew's house, and Andrew wasn't there. He allegedly ended up chilling at Andrew's house with Andrew's dog for 18 hours before he even showed up. Then, when he did show up, they just went on hikes. They didn't even go camping.
And eventually, we did go on some short day hikes where we talked about neuroscience and nerve regeneration and stuff, and it was interesting. He did say some pretty weird things about sex there. Maybe I'll get into that in a different video.
So Scott clearly feels very deceived and manipulated by Andrew, and he has let this cast a shadow on him for years and years. What a bizarre thing to do, though, to someone. Like, if that's legitimately true, that's fucking weird. That's some weird behavior. That is some shit I would not do. I'd be so nervous thinking about the other person just sitting there awkwardly with my dogs. Be like, oh God, I gotta get home. This, however, was not the only time that Gary claims he was ghosted by Huberman. They were supposed to go swimming with the sharks. Real ones, too, not VR ones, by the way.
Later, he invited me to swim with sharks with him, not virtual ones, but real ones off the coast of Mexico.
We're getting a little sampling of the Pacific for next month's KJX at White Shark Dive in Guadalupe.
I thought we weren't supposed to say that.
We have permits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have to have permits. We have permits.
So, Scott spent the summer learning how to dive, which cost him $1,000 and 3 to 4 weeks of classes.
But he said that I would need to get a diving certification to make it happen first. So I spent the summer learning to scuba dive here in Denver, which is a mile above sea level, so it's sort of tricky. And it cost me about $1,000 and like 3 or 4 weeks of classes. But the day before we were supposed to go, he canceled that trip again, said he would reschedule it. It never got rescheduled. And then, I was pretty disappointed. All these plane tickets aren't working. Then he said we could go to the Galapagos Islands together, and that went nowhere. And it was All right, it was weird because you don't do that to would-be friends.
He gave Andrew a draft to review in August, the favorite month of these people. And Andrew said he'd get around to it eventually, but didn't until January, a few months later.
So I wrote this chapter about him in The Wedge. We were talking about virtual sharks and some neurology, and I gave him a draft to review. And this is not something that journalists always do. I just figured it was pretty tame stuff, and he looked pretty awesome in it. So maybe that would be cool, and no one was paying attention to him at that time anyway, so maybe we'd give him like a little boost. It was cool. It was going to be very collegial. But again, he ghosted me.
And this would be after multiple follow-ups from Scott, allegedly, even one in which he said without a response, he would assume that the information he'd requested Andrew review was accurate.
I sent him this piece in August, and he said he would look at it really, really soon, and every week he wouldn't look at it. And this went from August until January. Meanwhile, my deadline was about to
hi
get
Albie, hi Clipping, how are you guys going?
And
Hello.
look, this is just not cool.
Hi,
I've
hi.
given enough time to review. I'm just going to run with it anyway.
Don't mind me. I've been drinking, so I am half dissociating.
The article in the video attempts to
Not in a
paint
bad way, in
very
like a
bleak picture of
daydream
Andrew's
way.
character. How has Huberman responded to all this? Andrew was silent on this during the time it was being written. A spokesperson for Huberman, though,
Yeah, it is like
very talkative. And
heading to
in the
11 p.m.
magazine, the
I've been
article,
streaming
the
for
New
12
Yorker,
hours,
the
so
fuck it is, they used
Ah,
Huberman's
ow,
spokesperson like 15
there's your
times,
ow, ow.
10 times or 11 times. The spokesperson said that Sarah and Andrew
so I'm just
never
like
decided to
running.
have children,
Yeah,
that
I
they
usually
wanted to
dissociate all the
create
time, but it's like
embryos
extra.
via IVF. Whatever that means, I have no idea. Can you sell those? How's that work? Then the Huberman spokesperson says that Sarah, when she tested positive for
yeah.
HPV, Andrew never
I just
tested
couldn't
positive for HPV.
just
By the way,
listen
there is
to
just no male
EMCA
approved test for
music.
HPV for men.
Not
You
the
can
only
still
one
get
will.
vaccinated if you're a man, but there's no test. However,
yeah.
after the release of the article, he did have a response, and that response was the following tweet, and it actually wasn't a response, it was just a scheduled
You know what that
tweet
is.
for a podcast segment.
That
A lot of
is
stuff's been
some
happening
stuff.
like this. Why learning how a magic trick
Holy
is
shit.
done is like the loss of
Don't mind the
romantic
sussy
love.
drawing.
This is quite literally the
All this to
exact
do with
thing
10
that
hours
people
done
are
with
harassing
8
him
p.m.
and calling him a
Yeah,
massive hypocrite
once
over,
I'm
by the way.
finished with this
It's the
drawing, I'm
exact
calling it
opposite
night,
of
because
the preaching. It's the preaching.
I don't
that's-
think I
it's
can
that-
stay
it's
for
ironic
long.
there. It's very ironic.
I am
Comments
pushing
are
it.
hilarious. So yeah, man, there are a lot of allegations about this. There are so many, and
Oh
that's
my
really
god,
what
even
they are.
a
They're
thousand's
just
not
all allegations.
good
Some
enough
of the
to
claims
shade her
are funny,
shoulders.
and all honesty, none of this is too serious or bad. More stuff might come out. In my opinion, man, if you are expecting someone to be something, and that's like what you're using to as like predication to how you're viewing them and why you're spending time listening to what they say, you're going to be disappointed on the internet. I don't listen to Andrew Huberman because I think of him in a certain
think
way
it's
and I
from
have
the
him,
D&D
an
server.
idea of him in my
It's
mind. I'm
from
listening to what he's
the
saying.
server.
That's it. I don't give a fuck who this guy is or what he's doing if he's dating 6 women at once. I don't care. If you can do that, that's awesome. That has zero effect on me at all. Hope Sarah's all right. Look, there she is now. So if this is all true, it boils down to him lying
beauty
about
mark
wanting monogamous
around
relationships
here,
and not
beauty
exactly
mark
being the guy
around
that he proposes himself
here.
online, or so it seems, regard to love and relationships, stuff like that. Or I guess women
I
having
think
to be
I'm-
monogamous with him but not him, right? That's kind of what it is. But does it invalidate all of his work? No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe this also, yet again, will age like fine milk. So, in regard to this, I'm not sure you're allowed to say separate the art from the artist, and I'm not sure you're even allowed to say that anymore, just in general. But in this time, let's separate the science from the scientist, my friend. Okay, guy? Once he starts
Hey, hi Rick, how are you doing? Didn't see why the R is sussy. I didn't see any reason why at all. No reason why.
then I'll start caring. How about that, guys?
Apparently I missed Soapy Art Day. Wait, oh my god, a drawing of a woman with the body of a woman? Look at this bee! It's crazy.
Hey Frankie, how you been, huh? You been watching a lot of Kick lately.
It's just like me,
A lot of
for
Kick
real.
lately. This is Frankie when she watches her favorite Kick
No.
streamer. Imagine this.
This
piece
is
of
not
bread
her
is
nipple.
The average Kick
I should
streamer.
tell you
And then
that
she
now.
goes,
No nipple. Nipple down here. I know women anatomy. I should know. I am. I should know. I am a woman.
That was pretty good.
I don't know why I find that
Give
funny.
you a little piece. Out, good girl. POV Frankie.
Mm.
Frankie just finished watching her favorite kick streamer, Jack Doherty. And I told her, hey, Frankie, instead of watching
gosh,
Jack
I'm
Doherty, who's a living, breathing human piece of garbage, maybe you should go outside and live your life and try to find
I
that
don't know
chicken
how that
that's been eating all the feed from the feeders.
Mm.
That wild chicken out there. You
Oh
know,
my god.
Gallo de
I think I knew it was off. I listened.
Dipero, all right, you little bastard. Just go pay. Average viewer. Seems like Jack Doherty's a good guy now.
So we do the good art.
I'm gonna prove it in this video today.
See,
I've made a lot of videos just talking. Literally just talking shit. It's kind of what I do on my channel. I talk a bit of shit.
When flesh, your boobs blush, according to anime art. You see that? Blushing boobs.
Oh my god,
They're so
he's not
happy.
actually a good guy, guys. This is every time I see this kind of shit, I'm like, okay, well, there's a free video right there. There's an interesting free.
Oh no! When they see a man they like, they just go.
The division of the PLA has more assets than the entire DoD. That's not good.
I don't know why I find this funny.
A lot scarier than Jack Doherty. This guy's apparently exposing someone who used to work for him, which is an interesting thing to do. Usually it's the other way around. The people who work for me.
Okay,
like, eventually I'm gonna have so
Drake.
many employees try to expose me.
It's
I have
an
a bunch
alright
of people that work for me, and they're all. I mean, quite literally, I love them all. They're all. I would consider them all friends.
I should have been ashamed of the face. What is wrong with me?
Eventually try to expose me, unless I do what Jack Doherty does, and I just start exposing the people that work for me right now. For example, Tara. Remember Tara? Yeah. I wonder what she's been up to. Probably some pretty problematic shit. Press like if I should make an exposed video on Tara, my editor and oldest employee and friend of 7 years. And exposing this guy that works for him, Jack unintentionally sort of exposed himself as well.
This is so.
Today we'll be breaking down the heated exchanges that have been popping
I did
up
not
on Twitter.
prepare.
It is unbelievable. I mean, genuinely, it's just I like seeing it. I really like seeing the world around me crumble. I get a weird sort of fetish, sort of voyeuristic rush from it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm a freak motherfucker. So today we're gonna find out which one of these people is the hero truly in this story, and we're gonna find out which
more
one
to
is
the
more of a
news.
pathetic loser.
Give it form.
Spoiler alert!
Like the, I guess they get warmer, like the cheeks. I don't know what I meant to try and say. I don't know.
I hate the internet.
Boobs do get warm though, but I think that's based on having warm hands.
She seems concussed.
If you have warm hands, take it as advice from me. If you have warm hands, you have warm titties.
It was Jack tweeting about his former friend or employee Matt Gonzalez.
And if you try and prove me otherwise, just hold your titties for 5 minutes. They'll be warm.
He was trying to expose him for a year, and then Jack's trying to re-expose him or expose him or something. It's hard to really know what exactly is going on here. And I'm wearing a blue flannel, and it's springtime in Texas, and the bluebonnets are beautiful, and everyone around me is so just happy, I've noticed lately. It's weird. This fucker Matthew has millions of followers on TikTok as well. He has a bunch of cringe
She's a bit
shit, as
red.
you probably could imagine.
I was literally hitting the Gwitty. Then eventually, my drink
Where
was
do
ready
we
for pickup.
hitting?
Thank you. He's one of these guys.
Where do we
He's one of the-
dine?
one of these guys. Oh yeah, hey, what if we made a video where we go to Dunkin' to order whatever the last person ordered, or we drive with the Apple Vision Pro? What fucking idiot would do that? Also, I have an Apple Vision Pro, and I don't like it. I want to return it, but at the same time, I feel like I should be in timeout. I should sit with my sin for as long as possible to be able to understand the gravity of it, etc. You know, redemption, that sort of thing. So I might just give it to somebody. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do with my
was
Apple
freezing
Vision Pro? I
to
might.
touch.
Maybe I should
I have
shoot
the
it
cover
for a
I'm
video,
called
blow
to
it up
touch.
for a
Same
video,
here.
something like
We
that.
got how my
But it's
honest
usable.
titties
It's
besides.
usable tech, so I really
Good,
don't
good.
know.
This is what you should be doing for science.
I'm a bit of a tangent guy. Matthew also has 1 million subs on YouTube. All from
See,
shorts,
my
and
hands
he
are
has
warm.
very similar long-form
Therefore.
views as Jackie. Okay,
No,
abysmal
let's not
relative
finish
to
that.
subscriber count. If you get 2.8 thousand views on a long-form video and you have 1 million subscribers,
But
nobody
for
cares
science.
about you. That's pretty much the end. Buying a Tesla on Elon's birthday.
I
that's
am
awesome.
a
That's
woman
really
of
good clickbait. It
science.
doesn't even look like Elon Musk. That's a thumbnail that I would do though. I love doing that. Just adding people into shit. Frankie. Oh, there you are. Sorry. This guy loves to type in his bios that he's worked with Mr. Beast and Jake Paul. And also, the reason we're talking about him today, he's worked with Jack Doherty. So, epic
Gushing
content
blue
creator,
that.
it's all great stuff, etc. It's pretty fucking cool. It's strange that a man with these accolades only has 3,000 followers on Twitter, though. It's like I don't know. You can just get a following on TikTok or with shorts so easily. It's weird. It's mind-boggling to me. It's hard getting the long-form stuff. It's hard getting the rabid audience that we have, me and you. All right, guys? Me and you, what we have right here. All right? Well, you know, what we have, me and you. Me and you, the only person watching. First time I ever heard of Matt, through one of Jack Doherty's tweets, which is incredibly embarrassing. I do follow Jack on Twitter, though, and like I've mentioned many times before, I really like ratioing him. I like giving him a good, solid ratio. It's one of my favorite pastimes, and it's something that I really, really, really enjoy doing. It's very easy, though. It's low-hanging fruit, but it's fun. It's fun. He likes to say that
Truly
I
the science
free
mate,
in his
yes,
head because I'm a
indeed.
hater, and honestly, I don't think that's
The
he
gal
doesn't
of
really make me
science.
mad per se. It's just like, I don't know, if there's like a little ball in a tree, or
Don't
you know, when
know
you walk through a
what
doorway,
I've
sometimes
smoked
you want to slap
to
the top
cause
of it.
my art
That's
to
what I
look
do on
like
Twitter,
this.
but with replying to Jack
But
Doherty's
I'm
tweets. That's how it is
smoking.
for me. It's not really living rent free. I don't like dwell on that.
Not
It's just
anything
something I do when I get
in
the chance,
actuality.
because it's really easy and fun, and it, you know, makes me look cool.
It'd
Jack's
be
full
fun to
tweet
joke about.
alleges that this fella Matt
Maybe.
assaulted a girl named Sammy.
Don't
But
know.
Jack
Don't
and
know why I
his
thought
crew
it'd be
didn't
funny.
believe her because Matt was their friend. And in addition to that, they didn't want to believe it because they didn't think he would do something like that, obviously, as their friend. My ex-employee Matthew spent the last year of his life trying to expose me for online clout. I'm done ignoring it. The first girl he sexually assaulted was a girl named Sammy at my merch out in LA, and nobody wanted to believe her. Because we all not Matt, our written in the nine, we never knew nothing
Not
like
Albie's
that.
gonna.
But after I
Albie has come back.
live with me, the same thing at
Their
work, and
theory is
happened over
correct.
and over, and I have multiple other girls writing up more about it. And one of those girls is my current girlfriend. Essay
Surely
is not something
this
to be
use
joked
of
about. But
thermodynamics.
You know, having Jack Doherty as
It
the hero of
works.
the story is really interesting, not the perpetrator or something. He goes on to say that he hired Matt a year later, and this behavior continued and worse, and even while Matt lived with Jack. Jack says that this happened over and over again, and he has multiple women ready to come forward about it, which is absolutely bonkers if that's true. And one of the women that was wronged by Matt, that's a very light way to put it, allegedly, was Jack's current girlfriend, a person named McKinley Richardson, the same
it's too
girlfriend
big.
he flipped a golf cart on. Pretty fun bro moment.
She said.
I ain't never met a Jack Doherty fan. You know who I really like, guys? Not Jack
What?
Doherty.
JG.
You know,
Morning. Good morning. Today's one of the main points of body warmth. It is believed so. I know the hands for your neck. I believe so because last time I checked, they got one of my titties got quite. Yeah, titties have a lot of capillary, like blood vessels going to it, and you know, you sort of need that to have them to be erect and be able to feed the baby. So they are naturally warm because of the mad blood.
Trustworthy individual. Now, this tweet
It's good. Sweaty, knees weak. Mom spaghetti. Vomit on my shirt, don't worry. Mom spaghetti. Knees weak. Mom spaghetti. Mom spaghetti.
Bro, if someone was locked themselves in a room with not even my girlfriend, any girl, and it took me and 10 of my friends to get them out, I would beat them senseless, and then I would never see them again. And then they would
Still gotta even hug a woman my age. Gotta learn all I can. Yes, so
no, I wouldn't be in jail.
hands because they're the endings of all your blood vessels. Same with your feet, but they also get the coldest easily because your body is like they're not important. Neck because very important blood vessels. Your arteries and veins is because it's closest to your heart. You got titties, they're pretty close to the heart. And then you've got your genitals, because they've got a ton of blood vessels and nerve endings and all that jazz. They're pretty warm. If you ever touch a woman, it'll be warm. Hopefully.
Those are not valid.
That's why.
Let's investigate. I've got my
Someone-
detective hat on. Go to sour.gg to
Yeah,
hopefully
accidentally
get some
joined
candy on
someone.
Friday when it goes live on the site. You guys miss it
Yeah.
all the time. It sells out in like just a
Is
few
in the
hours.
video.
It's pretty awesome, to be honest. Anyways, March 14th, 2 days before Jack would expose Matt, he went on a podcast called the It Is What It Is podcast. Very awesome. And he talks a lot about Jack Doherty. The original video was titled Jack Doherty, Girlfriend Caught
Well, I say
Cheating.
cadaver, then they are
And
called.
had a really awesome thumbnail.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
really
don't
know.
discuss
It is now titled
cadavers
The
with me.
Downfall of Jack Doherty.
I've seen
The thumbnail's
plenty in my
sick, so I'm
first
not really
year.
sure. I like this. I like
I've
this.
seen
The
plenty
Downfall
of
Jack Doherty.
cadavers.
He's like, it
And
looks
the
like a that's
stench.
how he looks, dude. It is not how he looks at all. He looks like
I love
Ryan's
English
point of
airways.
view if he grew up.
So a cadaver is a
He doesn't look
dead
like that at all,
body.
dude. I'm really bad at this
So
shit. I'm
basically,
really bad
cadavers
at,
are bodies
saying
that
what
have
people
been
look like and-
donated for science
and then sticking
for
with my guns. Podcast is
study
exactly
reasons.
as
So
badass as you think it can
at
be.
my
It's
university,
so
I'm
freaking
studying
awesome. I just
biomedical
want
science,
you guys to know that
and
this
I
podcast
did for
right
my
here,
first year,
these four guys
and I'll
in a
probably still look
set
at
and shit
cadavers.
gets less views than my podcast.
Oh, it's not
where I sat on
it's
the
not
floor
bad mentioning it.
for 3 months.
It's
That
just
is crazy. That is
and it's not a
absolutely- who
bad
are
thing
these
to look
people?
at.
This has
It's just
180,000
the
views. I'm not a
stench
hater.
is the
I just wanna
most
know where the
off-putting thing,
podcasts come from.
and
who does
I'm
this? They
worried
hype
if
this
I
guy
ever
up, they
discuss
hype
it
Matt
because
up
I've
on this
actually seen that many that I might make someone vomit because I can describe to you in detail what I've seen in there.
Someone who's done that before.
English
Some
is my
guy,
first
a
language,
really
so I
good
know some of
example,
it. That's
like
fine.
FDR
That's fine,
talking
Cloppy.
about the military-industrial complex, or
So
Edward Snowden
what
talking
they'll
about
do
the
is
NSA
pretty much,
spying on
let me
law-abiding
pause this.
citizens.
So they'll pretty much like after the body has naturally died, if it's recoverable, it will be prepared, usually in some sort of wax or resin will be filled in the body so that it doesn't decay immediately, and pretty much the body is put in a freezer. I don't know the actual process itself. I just know the fact that while they put it in a freezer, they cut up the body in various parts for what they need. So sometimes you'll have a full body. Not really, but like a mortar, pretty much, except they're cut up into various pieces. Sometimes, how do I go about this? Because I'm not thinking straight. So for this, let me try and explain. So there's two types of specimens we have in biomed. There's wet specimens and dry specimens. Bones are counted as dry specimens, and so sometimes bodies will get like their bones will get taken for dry specimens. We can touch that without gloves if it's completely dry. And we're allowed to. Wet specimens are stuff like skin, muscle, organs, anything else. Yeah, if the bodies are in the if the bones are in the body, it's wet. But when the bones aren't in contact with liquid, of course they dry up. Yeah, our skeleton is wet because our bone is porous. Porous, and it's like a sponge, pretty much. Shiver me bones. So what I've seen is commonly, it depends on what sort of systems you're looking at. So you'll see sometimes like half cut heads where you see like the inside of their head, so you can see the nasal cavity, the brain, their ear as well, sometimes if we're lucky. And there's a whole bunch of like those slides. Does that mean wet bones can't rattle? Technically no, yeah. Have you always had eyes up top? Yeah, I have. Yeah. I've always had eyes up top. I've always been there. I'm trying to think. What's the other thing? Is now the alcohol stuck. I'm feeling the alcohol kick. Have a great stream, Rita. For me, get back to work. Okay, you enjoy work. I'll be best of luck, buddy. Yeah, no, but never know small eyes, that's so high. Yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair. I can understand that. There's some, like, there'll be some single organs that are simply out on, like, sometimes little trays, depending, like little plastic trays or little metal trays. So you'll see commonly something like the lungs or heart or pancreas. Sometimes your kidneys attached to the bladder. All of the time they try to keep stuff as intact as possible. So, and these cadavers you can keep up to years. And the thing that makes them smell is them thawing out in the room temperature. So all the juices from the decayed matter mixed in with the resin makes them stink. And that foul stench stains into your clothing. Like, and you can smell that up to weeks. If you don't do anything about it. I myself, I can look at the bodies, but I couldn't do the smell, so I'd pretty much make a modern plague doctor. Like, I'd stick like a scent stick or like a smelly. I have like a smelly thing. I'd cut off bits of the smelly stick that have incense on the inside. I'd stick it in a face mask and I'd sniff on that. I pretty much heave that smell in so I couldn't smell the stench while I was looking at these bodies. Because we had to look at them so that we knew what they looked like in person in order to identify them. Yeah. And another cool thing was the ones that had, like, for some of them, a lot of the skin is off of the body, except for the fingers and toes. And the color, the best way I can describe it is like a brown yellow. A brown yellow color. For everything, pretty much. Oh, what was I gonna say? The other thing. Yeah, and our teacher demonstrated on the cadaver by pulling on one of the tendons in the arm. They got the muscle to flex up and the arm flexed up, like, upwards without her moving it. It was just her touching the tendon in the arm, which is really cool. And yeah, there was a couple. It was mainly it'd be like open cavities you'd see, so like mainly like the stomach area you'd see sprawled out. You got to see what fat looked like. Fat around organs look like little blobs. Little blobs that are yellow. Like, I'm disgusted by things when others show me, but in reality I could just stare at it. Yeah. I am fascinated by it. It's just indeed the smell that puts me off. And yeah, we had to look at cadavers for a couple of our exams in some of our subjects. I'll probably have to do that again soon, but who knows? Who knows? There's a lot to talk about with them. Of course, for legal reasons, but no, not legal reasons. Ethical and moral reasons, I can't we're not allowed to bring our phones in to take photos of the cadavers. Yeah, this video of guy who tried to end his life but only broke his legs and they just hang by. Yeah. Yeah, it's strange what the human body does. I'm just gonna play this like a good track. But yeah, more than happy to continue discussing this.
Wrong with me. I really have a weird brain. In this epic clip, Matt says that Sam, Neon's ex-girlfriend, had told Jack to talk to McKinley before they had ever even met.
Sam told Jack, "Hey, I have this friend McKinley. Jack, you should get
yeah,
whatever. You should talk to her."
Anyways.
But Jack didn't, and McKinley was engaging with all of Matt's social
It's not that
media
I
stuff, and
don't mind
eventually
discussing
talking
it.
about how
It's,
the moment she touched down in Florida, she
I think
was
it's
in
simply
Matt's
because
bed, not Jack's bed. So,
I
you know, trying to start some
do not have the mental willpower at the moment to avidly discuss it as I would normally.
The moment she got there,
If I could, I'd
Florida, she was already in my bed and
rant
Jack
for
walking in on
ages
us.
about the stuff I get taught, just because it's that fascinating to me, but
They
yeah, I want to draw more pieces that involve blood as well.
They showed how flirtatious they were with each other, showing them the text messages literally on screen.
She says, "Yes, actually, you were." Then Matthew says, "Okay, good, same here." And then she says, "I love to hear it." All right, so they're flirting back and forth. I'm trying to find some more juice up in here.
And also, since all this came out,
Nami,
Matt
Nami,
has
Nami.
tweeted them separately in the wake of Jack's allegations against him. This is so insane. Hopefully I see you this weekend. Yes, I hope so too. I'll keep you guys updated. Just got to get the bed up. It's just a bunch of, you know, interesting texts. I don't really see why it's crazy. It's talking about kissing. This is very like middle school. Oh, I don't know. I never went to school. But it seems very juvenile. But I guess they're fucking young anyways. What am I even fucking talking about? Yeah, up. If you keep liking my stories, I might have to kiss you. Like the notes. Keep liking his again stories. Noob. Keep it up and I'll have to take care of that. What I said I wanted you to take care of it. What the fuck? You take care of it. Oh wow, they're gonna kiss each other. I'll see you this weekend. Either I'm going to you or you're coming to me. Okay. I'll let you know if I can come. If not, I can come very soon. Trust. And then there's like some other texts and stuff. Booty Sniffer 9000. In the podcast appearance, before Jack's accusations against Matt came out, he talked about the night that Jack would later refer to as the essay on McKinley. He said that she was playing games with him
Get some
and
rest off
telling
stream.
him one
Okay.
thing
Oh,
and then the
good.
guys
You have fun,
something
Gupping.
else. In Rose
Goodbye.
podcast appearance, by the way, before Jack's accusations against him came out, he was talking about the night that Jack would later refer to as the night where the bad thing happened to McKinley. And he said, Matt said, that she was playing games, telling him something, and then the other guys something else.
She's telling me one thing, and then telling these dudes the other. Once she finds out everything from Mitchie or whatever, and she understood how everything was being mapped out.
She was playing the game.
She was playing the game, bro. Like, homie hopped to Jack right away, whatever.
He's saying that she was into him first, and Jack was a second pick, and that is what prompted Jack to speak out about this. And both of their accounts of the situation were wildly different from each other, as you can probably fucking imagine. So yeah, I don't really know what to believe. Matt shared the screenshots of the texts, and they seem very flirtatious. Obviously, flirting is not consent, obviously, but they definitely seem flirtatious. And it is expected at this point, Jack threw some insanely hefty accusations at Matt. We need to see some kind of fucking evidence, obviously. I expect that to come out soon, hopefully very soon. I'm curious to see what kind of proof Jack can provide in all of this, if he's going to throw such crazy accusations at Matt. By the way, not that any of this will affect either one of these people negatively in literally any way. And people are like, well, why do you even make videos about them? Because all the people that watch this vicariously through me, they don't support these people. It's the piracy. It's the piracy logic, right? People who pirate games and movies, they're not gonna watch them anyways. All right, if you can't get it for free, if you can't get it at your will and by your convenience, then you're not gonna get it. You just don't care. People are not gonna look up Jack Doherty because of my fucking video. If you do, you're an idiot. What do you fucking doing, dude? Let's exploit the shit out of him, and hopefully I'll make you laugh. Or at least you can see my dogs and smile or something like that. Or get mad at me, someone who is a better person than Jack Doherty, instead of getting mad at him and interacting with him in any way. I mean, look how few videos he gets on his long form content. It's working. We can't help the short form. That's like toddlers, babies. You might be curious. I'm curious to see what kind of proof that Jack can provide after throwing a hefty accusation at Matt, like saying someone locked a girl in a room and 11 people. That's wild. He included a call with the victim of the situation, Sammy, and she talked about her experience with Matt in the call. This was on March 16th.
In the room, in the guest room that you guys had, and he came to the room and he just like was, you know, feeling me, and I told him, do not do that, like I didn't want any of that. And then he was trying to like force himself on me, and I told him, I was like, stop, you know.
And yeah, you know, it's pretty damning stuff. It's not good. It's all very, very, very bad. Nothing like this has ever happened to anyone that I love, or no one that I love has ever done anything like this. It's fucking ridiculous that this exists so constantly in these circles. It's wild. Maybe it means something. Maybe it's a sign. Jack made his second video, by the way, elaborating on his perspective of the events with McKinley and the Matt situation from a year ago.
All right, so I'm just gonna address this because it's getting way out of hand, but basically, one of my ex-employees, Matt, he spent the last year of his life trying to expose me and bring me down because he's very jealous and he always says I'm nothing without him, blah, blah. He worked for me for 5 months, and within that 5 months, you don't even want to know all the girls that have like came forward about what he's done to them, which I'll get into that in a second. So there's this video that he keeps posting of him kissing my girlfriend in the back of an Uber, and here's the context to it. That was the very first day I flew her down here, the day we all met her, and I literally had another girl in my bed when she flew down to my house that day. And then right after we went to a club, and she got all drunk, he would always do this. I would be with another girl, and he would have her friend. So since I was with another girl, he was just all over McKinley, nonstop touching her, trying to kiss her nonstop, and she was super uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. It was her first day there. He had a huge ego and would start to do that with every girl and think they all want him, but they don't.
Okay, now we have that. Oh, all right, how about this? Are things getting more and more fucking weird for you, like they are for me, every single day? My innocence is just ripped and peeled away. It just keeps coming back and peeling back until it feels like it can't peel anymore, and then it just keeps on peeling, and it's really hard to like put it back forward and unpeel it. You know, it's like putting skin back on an orange you peeled. Eventually the orange will rot because you removed its skin. And that's what I'm talking about right now. Our oranges are being peeled together. Jack is talking about these things that happened a long time ago. And if you have critical thinking skills, which Jack does not, most content creators do not, this is a bad thing. This is a bad thing to talk about now. It's bad to bring this up. This is a former employee who has allegedly been trying to expose him for the past year. And they worked together for about 5 months or so. They're not friends anymore, I assume, because they're exposing each other. The first thing that Jack accuses this guy Matt of, that I've never fucking heard of before in my entire life, is essay of a girl named Sammy at Jack's own house. His first house, meaning he's had multiple. And I think he's in Florida now. The first house was in LA. So a lot of time has passed since this happened and him talking about it now. He also says that this happened repeatedly. Okay, Harvey Weinstein, what the fuck? And he knew about it, and his own girlfriend knew about it, but didn't address it. What? Wind of sexual assault on Jack Doherty, dude. What are you saying? This is just as bad for you to come out with this now. I wasn't going to talk about this, but why not? What? He only talked about it because Matt started talking about it first. Dude, it's not like you're shit-talking each other. This is illegal stuff. This is not good stuff. This is bad. This isn't like, oh yeah, he says the F slur or whatever. I mean, this is fucking terrible. There's laws. I'm like 85% sure that's illegal. I'm just kidding. I'm 100% sure it's illegal. So if we're to believe Jack, Matt's a piece of shit, and just overall, we can tell that Jack is just a piece of shit. He just protects people who sexually assault women. That's what he's admitting to right now, which is fucking, I mean, expected. At this point, it's expected. Once again, falls back to just like a weird convenience thing, man. Truly guilty by association. The comments are hardcore on this. It's so blatantly obvious when you look at it from from the, you know, the first perspective, initial glance, it's like, are you aware of what you're doing right now? You mean you were hiding it and you were associating with it knowingly, and this is your friend, bro? What? This is not a fucking flex. You were a freak. Okay, so anyways, a lot is now being alleged against Matt. So how would he respond to these accusations? Well, he would respond for sure. He says that Jack is lying. The end. This is a really fucking weird response video, if you can imagine. I'm sure you probably could. He compares sharing women to sharing underwear, and by women I mean McKinley, the girl that he allegedly SA'd.
Here I am to address the stuff that Jack is posting on Twitter. First off, when we went to Rock Bar, and the first day
How do we make it not look weird?
she was super
This is
into me.
meant to be
She didn't
soup.
know that me and Mitchie had a thing. She
Meant to
wasn't
be
aware of
soup.
most of the things that were going on, and she was super into me. Whatever. We're done at Rock Bar. We're in the back of the Uber, and that's where you see the video of me kissing McKinley. And Jack wasn't even with the girl that entire day. He didn't have another girl, so I don't know what he's talking about that he had another girl. He's capping about it entirely. And he wasn't holding her hand in the car at all because he was in the passenger seat. So I don't know how you could hold her hand in from the passenger seat and we're in the back seat. So he's completely lying. He was never holding her hand in the car that day of. So don't know why he's lying about that, but whatever. And I remember we'd be making out in my room. Somebody knock at the door. I'd go get the door, and then when I go back to my room, McKinley's gone. So I kind of got the gist that she wanted to move on to
no.
Jack. So that's why I
A
literally
long
asked
stream,
her, like,
indeed, a long streaming.
Jack, if you really want that. And she doubled down and she said that she liked me. She didn't like
Well,
Jack.
I
Jack's not even the
distracted.
type. So
A had lethal company this morning. Then I did art in between because I had to stream later on anyway. I was playing games with friends. Anyway, so it was like, you know, what was? There's no point ending stream to start up again. I was just like, oh, I'll just continue.
That's fucking weird. Jack just says that he's lying. Basically, he shuts it down. He extends the lying claim to a few other things that Jack said. He reiterated a lot of his points that he made on the best podcast on earth, the Joe Rogan Experience. Shut up! Oh my god, and then he gets to the part about the fucking
Yeah, I know
underwear.
I'm
He says
doing
he
art again
offered her
before I
up.
go to bed
That is
because it's
McKinley. What a strange choice
now
of
heading
words
to
talk
12
about
a.m.
a human being,
Yeah.
and not an object. I
Long
offer,
stream.
you know, my water bottle
There,
to those who are
I
thirsty.
should
I don't
consider
offer my
prep
girlfriend up
for hopefully
to people because
next
I'm a man.
week.
And you know, and my girlfriend is a human being, not a thing
This
to
looks
share. Bro,
awfully
comparing her
like piss
loosely, albeit,
and
to
annoying.
underwear is so awesome. They're sharing underwear. What the does that even mean, bro? Oh my god.
I need to change the color real quick or else I'm in trouble.
Los Angeles sharing underwear and mistreating girls. Oh wow. Broads. They probably call them broads because that's disrespectful. He's such a fucking weirdo. At one point, Matt even posted a video of him and McKinley kissing, using it as evidence of her being into him. And that everything between them was consensual, but he deleted it later because it had her nipple in it. Apparently, it was her request. He explains why it was deleted in his tweet, and he shows some of the exchanges stemming from it.
Get some.
Wow.
Oh, good.
And after he posted that, Jack
I will
threatened
get
to
some
sue
sleep.
him over posting revenge.
I'll get some sleep.
These are
See, I'm
huge
buying
allegations,
SCP.
accusations, whatever the fuck you want to call them. We need to
Secret
see
Lab.
proof of the
Yeah.
McKinley accusations
Secret Lab
from
is
Jack,
fun. I
but
think I
he
need to
does-
get back
Jack
into
does
Secret Lab.
provide proof for the Sammy allegations, which is the first girl that Matt allegedly SA'd. His
Good.
first victim. Jack posted a call with Sammy on his Twitter. That was his first sort of exposing video of Matt, and his second video was him explaining the events of what happened with McKinley, which happened after Sammy. And they started posting each other's texts and screenshots and stuff. Literally, I don't know, dude.
What?
RP is a
What a
completely
draw
different
here.
thing.
I
That's
can't tell.
evil as shit. I don't even know what. They're like threatening to sue each other. Just fight. Just how about you duel? Let's bring back duels. I will gladly be the first YouTuber to duel someone. I will fucking duel someone, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready to duel. If anyone wants to duel me, let me know down below. We can set it up. I don't think dueling's legal though. Oh, and by the way, fun fact, some more of Matt's evidence that he provided revealed that he was even more of a piece of shit. He decided to make an epic grape joke when Jack says that he got McKinley to sign an OF contract that was disguised as an NDA, which is contract fraud, and that is a federal crime, especially if McKinley is not from the state in which yeah, she signed that. You can't just make people sign contracts that are purposefully misleading. I assume this is a joke, like the grape joke that Matt made. What fucking human pieces of shit these people are. Hey, by the way, Matt also responds to the original allegations from Sammy in the video posted by Jack with the phone call, the FaceTime audio thing. He scrolled through his text exchanges with Sammy. And then Matt made his second video responding from inside a car, but he didn't really say much. It was a very short response. The biggest difference in this one is that Matt says that Jack didn't care when he's, you know, alleging all this bad
Let's
stuff
add a bit more
happened.
details.
He didn't care and
Well,
didn't even
Miss
mention
Dunn.
it. He didn't say anything about what Matt allegedly did at
Swag.
the time, and he wanted him to keep working for him, which is a pretty bad thing. That's bad. That's a bad look. That's a bad look.
So this is the craziest part about all of this, is that if I did all these things allegedly, then why would he still say I have to edit for him, and if I don't keep editing for him, he's gonna sue me? Like, if I did all this crazy stuff, wouldn't you just tell me to leave and that's it, like, bye? And if you're keeping it in the wraps and not talking about it when it happened, or like, you know, like, come on, like, really make it make sense, bro. Like, this is like hilarious to me, because it's like, dude, like, I really got to make like a long video about this or something, just to like really get into detail on this. But
And by the way, a lot of people calling out Jack for his fucking insane behavior and decision to take forever to expose a sexual predator, and he responded to that criticism, and he did so with an epic W, classic Jack Doherty toddler build W. Some people are mad that I didn't talk about these allegations a year ago, but not everything is meant to be handled on the internet. He spent the last year of his life trying to make me look mad for that, and I've ignored it. And it's this time people realize the type of person he is. Dude, you guys are both content creators, and he's allegedly S-ing other content creators. Where else are you supposed to talk about it if not on the internet? Because it doesn't seem like you're gonna fucking do anything in real life about it. So you just let it go? What do you mean you're letting it go? Is that what you're doing? Because it seems like that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to let it go. Huh? He is right though. Some things do need to be handled off the internet. George not found! Oh my God! Anyways, but quite literally, his entire brand is handling it on the internet. He gets slapped by people constantly and does everything on the internet, dude. It's sad. He's insufferable and his brain is warped. And you know, there's only bad outcomes for this young man. Seriously, this is not going to be good for him. This money won't last for long. It's a candle. So, you know, start and stuffing away those assets as soon as you possibly can, brother. Oh, by the way, if anyone you know commits sexual assault, do not hide it. If they actually commit it, then alert the authorities, for one, and get a lawyer, and for two, you know, warn people about them. Warn people that they're a bad person, potentially. Up until this point, we've heard from Matt, and we've heard from Jack, we've heard from Sammy, not Jack's girlfriend, McKinley, and also not from one of Matt's alleged victims. But she would break her silence on the 16th, the same day all these allegations came out. Her response would be telling her side of the story and her perspective of her interactions with Matt, all written down in the Notes app, screenshotted and posted in 3 parts, which were reposted by Jack. It's a fucking lot of reading, so we'll just go through it. Matt told her that they were together. She corrected him, said that they weren't. The same week, according to her, cops were called to the house for Matt assaulting another girl. Bro. Oh my God, who are these people? I feel so bad for these poor fucking women. So anyways, this is all just text. Obviously, there's no real proof. There's no real evidence. It's he said, she said, and you know, it's not how justice works or like a court of law. The burden of proof, there's not really any at all. Maybe you could say that you could look up the police actually being called. You could verify that. That's something that we could actually see, because that's but even then, you know, police are called for the wrong reasons sometimes. In this instance, probably gonna go ahead and believe the victim, all right? All right, based in red-pilled fellows, Jack's piece of shit, Matt's piece of shit. Both of them pieces of shit. Now, what's doubly interesting is it doubly proves that Jack's a fucking piece of shit, because it's more of an acknowledgement that from McKinley, the actual victim that Jack knew about this week, what we just read, for this long, and still didn't talk about it or fire him. What the bro? If people that I hire are assaulting women, I'm going to fucking fire them. I'm going to fire them. I'm going to hold them down, give them a raspberry, and fire them. And yeah, the cops were called. He allegedly did this to another girl as well. He retweeted this. What a fucking idiot, dude. Everyone's so stupid in this situation. So Matt responded and said, no evidence, no evidence. Let's talk about this on a stream. Widowy cannot believe how much shit they made up. She would not once say she was unculpable until by some of the purposefully did their hoping to scam all the money. These are all shithead people. These are all horrible people. You still get to show proof for everything. At least Matt is posting some level of evidence of like a timeline. He's posting screenshots of texts between him and Jack, showing that after all this horrible shit happened, he was still asking for some work to be done. Maybe it's because Jack's a sociopath and he just doesn't care, and he really truly only cares about SA when it's convenient for him. That's seeming like what this looks like right now. This is crazy. And he's saying he doesn't want to edit any OnlyFans videos. $400 a day for OnlyFans videos. Sure, I'd fucking edit some OnlyFans videos for $400 a day. I'm pretty good at editing. I could probably do 2 or 3, you know? I don't know shit. He doesn't morally agree with it though. Also showing screenshots of Jack texting him while all this was going down, calling him the F slur, which is a huge no-no.
Hope your 5 seconds of clout was worth it. Keep in mind you make somebody's name out of your mouth, you obsessed king. Have fun trying to get any girl in the future.
You look like just as much of a piece of shit, bro, if it's true. Jack apparently also sent Matt his own address, which is a baller move. Very internet of him. And apparently he doesn't live there anymore. People do that shit to me all the time. They send me pictures of my house and stuff, and I'll like wave as they drive by. They send me pictures of my house. It's pretty funny, honestly. And then the rabbit hole begins, guys. Matt starts to accuse Keemstar and Drama Alert of being on Jack's payroll for him to be on his side. I really don't fucking know. This all stems from the person who runs the Drama Alert Twitter page having Jack Doherty #1 fan in her bio. Matt then accuses Jack of trying to get his Instagram banned and paying Instagram to get him banned, which I don't even know you can fucking do that. I don't think that's a thing that you can do. I don't think Instagram wants to associate with Jack Doherty in any way professionally. I mean, they could quite literally just Google his name and find 500 reasons to not. Really what this shows is how big of pieces of shit are out there. Just posting, and people don't even know. They'll watch a Jack clip of a short on YouTube and just be like, oh, this is, you know, this guy's just like built like a toddler. It's kind of weird, but it's like not hurting me. No, it's actually, everyone around him is rotten. They're rotten. They're actually completely rotten human beings. And this Matt guy has been trying to like shittily expose him over the last year until I don't even know, dude. What the? It's just so lame. Like, this is all the shit he's tried to expose him for up until this point. They both just, oh my god, it's just so stupid. Put a bunch of tweets of all the stuff Matthew was trying to expose him with. I have no fucking idea what to believe in this. It seems so fake. They're all pieces of massive shit. They should all be banned and eliminated. Not really, they shouldn't be banned from the internet. We can just point and laugh at them. Yeah, also remember this video of this guy just getting punched square in the noggin? We can't show the whole thing because my video will get age restricted. But yeah, Jack is being sued for that assault because of his bodyguard. I hope that continues to happen, and I hope his life gets completely destroyed. It seems like it's likely. It's actually, there's a chance of this happening, which I'm pulling for it, dude. I'm praying on the downfall. Is that wrong of me? This is awesome. I love the internet. Anyways, fuck. I really am starting to enjoy the whole kick thing. It's like a guilty watch for me. I really, it's like a...
I can't understand your accent.
I feel bad watching it. I feel bad making videos about it. These people fucking suck. I don't feel bad at all.
Oh my god, nice.
Oh, gee, man.
Yo, wait, can I have one?
You can have wood.
100?
Yeah, if you bark and dog, come on, fetch the hose.
I love making fun of them. Like I've said before, it's like having a punching bag. You can be mean to these people and make fun of them from top to bottom.
I'm here to expose all you fraudulent fucks.
Damn.
Literally.
Yo.
I'm here. I'm him. Himothy. Timothy. Daddy. I created all y'all. You watched me growing up.
Even the way they look, which is not allowed on the internet. Now, it's not, you can't be a respectable person and make fun of the way someone looks. But I can say that Jack Doherty looks like a giant toddler, or like a medium-sized, or slightly above average toddler. And everyone will agree. Or will you all finally decide to extensively defend him because he is a protected class of online content creator now? I saw these guys right here recently, and I was like, all right, this is what's becoming of this platform, and Jack Doherty he's propagating. There's a new zygote on the fucking scene. Jack has undergone mitosis, and this is the result. He also stole some lady's food as well and got yelled at.
Taking out his food.
Tell him.
You can go yourself.
Does that child have parents? Does Jack Doherty have parents? Actually, yes, Jack Doherty has made a lot of videos with his parents.
His parents appeared in such classics as ignoring my mom for 24 hours, saying no to my mom for 24 hours, and my dad says yes to everything for 24 hours.
Jack is quite hated though, and we keep going down the rabbit hole. Every time I see something new, I'm like, what? How does it get worse? How did I miss this? And how does it get worse?
Basically, there's this rumor saying that I signed minors to OnlyFans, get them drunk on yachts, make them sign contracts, whatever.
We've seen him beat people up.
You should go to sleep. Don't worry, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna go to sleep.
It sounds like that was sexual. You want it to be sexual.
We've seen him just be an absolute goober piece of shit consistently.
I'm not being...
Airport security's coming down. You park that thing over there. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. None of that shit. My bad. Sorry. You are on a federal property. This is an active ramp. Sorry. This is not a playground.
He's kind of like a miniature version of Andrew Tate, and this is something
Okay,
that I've been thinking
I
about
am
for a
going to
while
find
now,
someone
and
to
it's really
just...
interesting to me. Also, remember that guy that
There is no
we
one
talked about
online
last
for
week,
me to...
Matt? And exposing this guy that works
Hey,
for him, Jack,
that's all good.
unintentionally sort of exposed himself as well. And today we'll be breaking down
If
the
any
deep
of you are
exchanges that have been
considering
popping up on Twitter.
joining the
It is
Discord, I recommend it. If not, that is completely fine. But yeah, we've finished the spicy art. Done. We are done. Yeah, that's all good. I wish you all a good night, a good morning, a good day, and I will see you all not tomorrow, but hopefully next week. I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.